Welcome back to Daytime Talking all things destination weddings with Michelle Smith. Michelle, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Now, with the high cost of weddings in our own hometowns, people are looking south to save a little bit of money and to sort of start their lives with their new partner not in debt.
That's a very good point, Jennifer. The cost of weddings are anywhere from $30,000 to $50,000 in Canada. And that's an average wedding, which is just crazy. To do a destination wedding, you basically take your friends and family. Typically, it's a smaller group. The average size is 30 people, but we've done as many as 80 to 100. And the cost is somewhere between $3,000 to $10,000 for the wedding. So significantly less.
And that's the thing. I mean, you want to start your new life sort of with debt-free. And a lot of times, I mean, parents help out when they can, and sometimes we don't have the financial support from family members. The big thing, though, is when you're a bride and groom sort of preparing for that wedding, you almost don't want to ask people to sort of shell out that money for a destination wedding.
Well, you give them, typically a destination wedding is planned anywhere from 9 to 12 months. That's the average. And you start early and you tell people this is where we're going, this is how much it's going to cost. And you can't expect that everyone is going to go, right, when you make that announcement that you're doing a destination. But it's surprising how many people embrace and want to support the bride and groom and actually go to the destination. And it's a week of festivities. I mean, it's really a super way to start your life off and to get a nice send-off.
Now, being a travel agent, you've probably seen some sort of ups and downs in the industry. People now, they're almost they can book anything they want online now, but when it comes to a destination wedding, it's nice to have someone sort of take care of all those final details so that on your big day you don't have to worry about it.
Well, that's right. So it's not like just booking a vacation. You have to have a group set up, which is you actually have to book the destination, and then we have to secure the wedding date. So often somebody will decide they want to get married a particular week at a particular resort, and the resort will not have the wedding, will not have a date available for them. And so that is a really important factor. The other thing is, if you have 30 to 50 or upwards of 100 people going, the bride and groom do not want to be the focal point for that. So the travel agent acts as the liaison between the bride and groom and all of the travel arrangements. And people don't understand how complicated it can be. And you get some people are very savvy at traveling, and some people have never left the country. So you get a real gamut of questions from people. And if the bride and groom had to be the focal point for that, they'd go out of their minds.
You know, and oftentimes they still are the focal point. Instead of reaching out to the travel agent that the bride and groom have entrusted with handling the wedding, they still go to the bride and groom.
But not as much.
Okay.
Not as much. We really, very early on, we set it out so that we are the focal point, and we handle all of it. And our client is the bride and groom, so we work very, very closely with them and talking to them all the time.
Now, you are throwing an event sort of so people that have any of these questions or concerns can come to you and get them answered all under one roof.
Absolutely. So that we're having an event at Sweet Success on June 16th, and it's going to be from 7 to 9 o'clock. And we're basically taking them from the very beginning, how to choose the destination. So what island would you like to go to? What is the personality of the islands, and what would make most sense, to what are the resorts, and what are the differences between an event that will host a wedding and what we call a resort that is actually a destination wedding resort, and then take them through all the mechanics of it and how much it will cost and what it looks like.
Because at the end of the day, you still want your personality to shine through.
Absolutely.
Even if you are going to a tropical island, and you still want to be able to add those final touches. And for the travel agent to sort of match the liaisons, especially when it comes to, I mean, a lot of the resorts will take care of flowers and cakes, but maybe there's other things that we want that typically we could find here really easily, but maybe in another country it might be a little bit more challenging.
Actually, at these resorts, they do destination weddings like every day. They have incredible wedding planners on site with incredible chairs and decor, and you would be surprised what is available in these countries. This is a very big business for them, and there is lots of selection, and it's so easy. I mean, they are doing it very, very quickly.
Now, for our viewers at home that are thinking about a destination, are there any do's and don'ts that you offer or that you tell people? Is there a must that we sort of make sure we book on time or book early?
Absolutely book early. 9 to 12 months is ideal. That's really important. The other thing is you really should look at the weather and when you want to do this. So for instance, if you're a school teacher, you probably can only go in the summer or March break or Christmas. Well, Christmas and March break are going to be high season. It's going to be very expensive for you and your guests. So you might want to look at the summer, but then you have to look at the weather. So that's really important. The other thing is, a lot of people think they're going to have the big, heavy dress in the Caribbean, and they're going to have tuxedos for their groomsmen and their groom, and that's really not done. So you have to be very careful about how you dress, right? A lot of times the men wear linen pants and nice linen shirts. Just those are things you have to think about. And we really highly recommend that you deal with a travel professional. I travel all the time. I traveled 10 weeks last year, 6 weeks this year.
Lucky girl.
I know, it's rough. I've been to over 300 all-inclusive resorts in the Caribbean. I've eaten their food, I've slept in their beds, I've talked to their staff, I've watched their weddings, I've participated, and so I do know the difference, and I definitely can assist. There's no guesswork here.
It's amazing. And you know what? There's got to be horror stories that people sort of come back to. Maybe they didn't book their wedding with you, but maybe they're booking a future trip with you, and they're like, oh my God, had I known I could have booked my wedding with you, I could have avoided this. Is there one that stands out?
There was a young lady, and I met her at a wedding show, and she told me that she had this amazing package, and she had, all of her guests were going to, I think it was Cuba, for $800, and she told me the resort, and I said to her, you know what, that's too good to be true. 3 months later, she came back to me and she said, can you help me? She said, that wasn't the price. There was, all these other things, and I said to her, when it's too good to be true, it is too good to be. You really, it was so out of range that, I said to her, well, good luck with it. But I knew it wasn't real. And it ended up being a major disaster. I couldn't help her because she had signed a contract with another travel agent. Very, very complicated. So if it sounds too good to be true, it usually is.
What about photography? Should we bring a photographer with us and pay their all expenses paid trip just to make sure we get those extra special pictures?
I'm on the fence on that one, to be very honest with you. Some of the photographers in the Caribbean, a lot of them are very, very good. They understand the weather, they understand the sunsets, they understand all of that. If you have a photographer that you absolutely love, I would suggest you take them. I mean, I think it's 50-50.
And you're saving in so many other ways. Why not?
Absolutely.
Why not make the trip of a lifetime?
I mean, there
for
are
your
some
photographer?
spectacular photographers here in Canada, but you can get good pictures there, but you can't guarantee it if you don't know them.
Michelle, thank you so much for all of the information. Make sure if you are planning a destination wedding that you get out to this event at the Sweet Success. But stay with us, so much more coming up on Date.